In this video I will show you how to build a 2-point equalized anchor. So what we have here is two pieces of protection placed in the rock. Both of them are tri-cams. This is one of them and here is the other. And the question is how to build an anchor with these two. When building an anchor, it's really important to have redundancy. So you want to have at least 2 points of protection, if possible more, but in this video I just show you a 2-point equalized anchor, which means that your protection is backed up by another one. So what I have here is a piece of cordlet. It's about 6 feet long or so. There's a fisherman tied in the middle, double fisherman knot, so it's just a loop. And there are several possible ways to build an anchor. It's always a trade-off between simplicity, whether it's equalized or not, and how much shock load the system suffers if, for example, one of the points breaks. So let's start with a simple one. You can clip in to these 2 points of protection, just like that, here. And then you take one of the strands, you flip it around 180 degrees, like so. And then you put a locking carabiner in here. And that's an anchor. Now, the nice thing about this one is that it's equalized, so that the load is equally distributed between the 2 points of protection, whether you're pulling it from this direction or whether you're pulling it from another angle. And that's really important because you want to have the load equally distributed between these redundant points of protection. However, suppose one of these points fails. So I'm just going to demonstrate by unclipping it here. Then, as you can see, you're still attached, which is good, but all this length of cord that was between the two is going to run out in this direction. It's kind of hard to show because of the space limitations here. You can see how this protection right there is going to be shock loaded with all that load running out. So there must be a better way of building an equalized anchor. So let me just show you one of my favorites. It's sort of a trade-off between like how equalized the anchor is and how much shock load the protection suffers if one of your protection fails. So you just take this loop and you tie 2 figure-8 knots about 1/3 of the distance from the end, like so. I'm going to show you after I've done it what it looks like. So let me just put the figure-8 knots in here first. So you put one here, and then you put another one here. And you can actually dress these after you've tied them so that they are where you want them to be. Like so, 2 figure-8 knots. Now you clip the ends into each piece of protection, like that. Good that I have a personal anchor. And now you have these 2 strands right here. You put a locking carabiner into each of those strands, Well, I came unprepared. Here's the second locking carabiner. Opposing gates, and now you can put the rope in here. Now, as you can tell, in this range of angles, this is an equalized anchor. So any direction of pull between these two angles is going to be equally distributed between those 2 points of protection. Suppose one of the protection fails, then it's only going to run out until the figure 8 knot that we tied in here, or the other one if this fails. So you only have this much of shock loading. So there is definitely a trade-off between how well equalized your anchor is and how much shock load it's going to suffer, suppose one of them fails. But that's the trade-off you're going to have to consider. This is a pretty good trade-off. So now you know how to build a 2-point equalized anchor, so go play.